I saw a base with barrels in it around bedrock on the roof of the nether when I went to go check it out. Instantly I noticed the nether wart, but I saved that for later and searched out the base a bit more, finding a maxed out enchanting setup. Then I went to check out the barrels, which had the craziest loot in there, like 18 diamond blocks, 14 golden apples, and so much other potion materials. At this point, I'm already rich and only 30 seconds into raiding bases, so make sure to like the video right now or your base will be my next victim. I even somehow found a sharpness IV sword, and a crazy pickaxe with silk touch on it too. After that, I went to steal this guy's nether wart, but I always leave one left because I'm a nice guy sometimes. Then I went to take all of his bookshelves, which are hard to get in this server because cows are so rare. So I gladly snatched those up, and then went to leave this little guy a sign, letting him know his dad was here before proceeding to my next base, which I found in the overworld. Instantly, I already saw bookshelves and sugarcane, and then I even found a huge netherwort farm, which I gladly snatched up. I left one for the little guy in case he needs it, and then looked around the base more, and these chests caught my eye because I realized they were behind a wall hidden. So I had to check those out first before I look around any further. The first chest didn't really have anything crazy, but he had some decent stuff like potions, TNT, and sugarcane. But the second chest was absolutely stacked. It had protection armor, with a sharpness 3 sword, and a power 3 bow, so I was already satisfied with his base. The third chest even had a lot of potions already pre-made, along with 13 netherwort for me. After that, I went and destroyed some of his sugarcane, then proceeded to the bookshelves. And just when you thought I couldn't get any more evil, I had the urge to blow up this guy's whole base for not having a sharpness 5 sword for me in here, which is totally unacceptable for the father of all fathers. Oh, and by the way, if you don't like the video and subscribe right now, your base will be the next base I pay a visit to in the next video. But anyway, I found another base with a bunch of chests almost near bedrock level, and it even had a max enchanting setup with a bunch of bookshelves. And when I went to loot these chests, instantly I found a half of a stack of netherwort, sugarcane, and so much leather. But to be honest, it was nothing good enough to make my tip tingle. So I went to destroy the little guy's bookshelves, and then I had to leave a sign letting him know his father was here. But then I found this house literally floating so far up in the sky. It had a sugarcane farm outside, and the inside was so nice. I'm not sure why anyone thought this was smart to make a base up here though. He even had like 3 stacks of diamonds in the first chest I looted. But the rest of the chests didn't really have anything too good in them. So I just went on to take all of his bookshelves, and he had a lot, so it kinda took a while. I saw this bed and decided to claim it while I was here. Then I went to go destroy his little sugarcane farm for not having enough loot for me. But at least I got some armor to feel a bit safer. After looking around a bit, I found this base in the overworld. It had some netherwort growing, and a huge underground farm with other crops growing. When I went to go loot the chest, I found a lot of netherwort and a bunch of potions already pre-made for me. Then I found a decent amount of diamonds, but the other chests didn't really have too much good loot in them. So, you know this guy has to face his consequences for not having a valid amount of loot for the father of all fathers. So I claimed his bed, and then began to destroy his netherwort farm and his sugarcane too. That's when I found another sky base way up in the air. I guess these guys think hackers can't find their base this far up for whatever reason. Instantly I noticed it had some netherwort, so I snatched that up and left only one remaining. And the barrels sadly didn't really have any good loot besides some webs for me and normal diamond armor. So I left the little guy a sign and then went on about my day to raid more bases. That's when I found a barrel base at bedrock level, literally on the border of the map. I guess this guy thought he was slick, but that's the first place I look is the edge of the map for bases. But anyway, the first barrel had a lot of diamonds and 58 bookshelves, and the more barrels I kept looting, the better and better the loot was getting. But it wasn't the best armor, so it still didn't make my tip tingle yet, to be honest. Even though this guy has like unlimited diamond armor sets, none of them were maxed out. So I was still on a mission to get a S5 sword at least, and some protection 3 armor or better. That way I can feel like a top guy in this server. I seen these hoppers to the left of me. The first one had some extra diamonds, but the second was a surprise for me, as it had 20 diamond blocks, some netherwort, and a few golden apples. Then I headed back to the nether to try my luck here again, when I found a small hopper stash that had 7 golden apples and some strength potions, which I can't complain about. That's when I ran into this little guy while searching for another base to raid, so I decided to pick a fight with him because I have a pretty decent sword and armor already. But the little guy was no match for the father of all fathers. He began to run, but there was no escape. I flung the little guy into the lava and just watched him burn before proceeding to my next base to raid, which was this one, stacked with a bunch of barrels. But most of them didn't have a lot of loot in them besides this one with over half a stack of diamonds, and this one with a few potions in there for me. So before I left to raid some more bases, I left the little guy a sign. Then went back to the overworld to try my luck again when I found this base disguised as the nether. It was pretty nice and had a lot of barrels in it that I had to loot, which ended up having some decent armor in only one of these, but not the best at all. But when I went downstairs, it had a nice little netherwort farm, so I snatched those up and left only one left like I usually do. The barrels right next to it didn't have any loot though, so I left the noob a sign letting him know his dad was here. And then I moved on to my next base, which was only 2 barrels. But when I checked them, they were absolutely stacked with over 3 stacks of diamonds and a bunch of other goodies. But nothing good enough for the father of all fathers. So I moved on to a new base. It was a huge base in the overworld, stacked with a bunch of barrels and chests, so I was expecting it to be super rich. But sadly, literally every barrel and chest I opened had nothing at all. That's when I saw this chest hidden under the floor, and when I checked it, at least it had almost a stack of diamonds. But that was it for that base, so I found another one at the border of the map. And after checking the chest, I didn't find anything at all that was good enough for me. But I saw these cows trapped in a small cage, so I decided to let them free before going to loot another base in the overworld. But the chest didn't really have much to get excited about. It only had 10 diamonds, and the next chest had some more. So I destroyed his sugarcane farm for not having good enough loot for his father. That's when I somehow found another sky base way up in the air. This must be the new trend or something, because this is like the 3rd or 4th one I found already in this server. When I got inside, I was greeted by about 50 chickens yapping at me. So I said what's up to their leader and then looted the base for anything good I could find. But sadly, all of these chests didn't really have anything good at all, and neither did every single hopper. So I decided to get revenge on this guy by letting all of his hard-earned chickens free. They must have been so hard to get up here, but I still had to let them go because he didn't have enough loot for the father of all fathers. But anyway, while I was about to go into the nether to raid some more bases, this guy approached me looking for a fight. But he had maxed out armor and a way better sword than me, so my health was getting low so fast. Even with these golden apples, there's no way I could survive this. But that's when I noticed he was showing me mercy, crouching as if he was friendly. So I went back up there, and he didn't attack me. So I handed him some good loot I found for sparing me. Still curious on why he reacted like that, but I just shrugged it off and headed to the nether. But that's when he said I'm Xylo, so that's why he stopped attacking me. But I had my second channel skin on with a helmet, so I'm so surprised this guy somehow noticed me. So he was for sure a true fan, because my helmet covers my whole face with this skin. But anyway, I found this hopper base and began looting it from left to right. And overall, I came out with 9 extra diamond blocks in the last hopper, before finding someone's secret enchanting room with maxed out bookshelves. But as you know, he didn't have enough loot for the father of all fathers, so he was forced to face his consequences.